Hello everyone, we put up a poll on which of these tutorials we should post, and the poll had almost the same vote, so we decided to post the cowl pants first. So if A was the option you voted for, don't worry, your tutorial will also be posted. All you need to do is stay tuned to the channel and turn on your notifications so that you will be notified when the tutorial drops. So today we'll be teaching us how to make these beautiful cowl pants. Here's the pattern paper that we'll be drafting this cowl pants on. I've gone ahead to join my pattern paper so that it will give me the length that I'll be working with. So the first thing we'll do on this pattern paper is to rule a straight line at the top of the paper that will serve as our starting point, which is the waist line, where we'll be taking all our measurements downwards from. So I just came down with 1.5 inch from the top of my pattern paper and I ruled my waistline there. The next thing I'll do is to divide this paper into two. I initially wanted to use this pattern paper to draft the back and front, but it wasn't enough. So what I'm doing here is to divide my pattern paper into two using my hip measurement. So this line that I just ruled at the center of this pattern paper will guide me when I'm taking my front measurement, because we'll be drafting the front pattern on this box. So the first measurement we're going to take from the waist downwards is our crotch length. Now, if you've watched our body measurement tutorial, we taught us how to take our crotch measurement. You either sit upright on a chair and measure it from your waist down to the chair, or you divide your hip circumference by 4 and add 1.5 or 2 inches if it's not a fitted pant. Some persons add 2 inches, but I use 1.5 for my non-fitted pants. So my hip, 44 inches divided by 4, that is 11, plus the 1.5 that I'm adding, that gave me 12.5. Now when I'm marking this 12.5, I'm going to minus my 1.5 inch for my waistband, which means I'm taking 11 inches from the waistline downwards. So I'll mark that point now, rule a line there and label it my crotch line. Now that we have our crotch line out, the next line I'm going to mark is my hip line. Now, usually some persons go up with 2 inches from this crotch line to determine their hip line, which works for some persons, right? But alternatively, you can also measure yourself from your waist to your hip and impute your measurement from the waist downwards. Remember to exclude the waistband, right? So now from my waist to my hip is 10 inches. I'll measure this 10 inches and I'll rule out my line there, and you will see that if I had used 2 inches, it is not my hip point. What I have here is 2.5, right? So now that we have our hip line out, the next thing is to determine the measurement we'll use for our crotch extension. Now, to get your crotch extension, you need to divide your hip circumference by 16, right? So for me, 44 divided by 16 is 2.75. which is what I'll be imputing on this crotch line, the hip line, and the waistline, and I'll rule a straight line there. And if you notice the way I'm taking this the way I'm imputing this 2.7, I'm taking it from this my straight line coming inwards on my crotch line, right? So after imputing it on the crotch line, the hip line, and the waistline, I'll rule a straight line there before I'll use the curve ruler to mark out that curve that we have on our crotch. So from this crotch line up to the hip line, you use a curve ruler to mark out the curve that you have there, and that's that for the crotch extension on the front. Now the next thing I'm doing on this front is to come inward with 0.5, which is half an inch from this straight line on the waistline, and then use this ruler to connect it downwards to meet this my crotch extension curve that I have on the hip line. Now, if you have a big stomach, you might decide to leave this out, because what this line does is to eliminate any excess fabric on the center front part of our trouser. This 0.5 inch makes that place flat for me. That's why I do this. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to impute our measurements on these lines. The hip measurement on the hip line. Notice how I'm placing my tape. I'm taking my measurements from this straight line inwards, not from the beginning of my pattern paper, right? So I'll impute my hip measurement divided by 4 on the hip line, and on this crotch line, what I'm putting here is my thigh circumference divided by 2. My thigh is 27, so I'm imputing 13.5 inch on this crotch line. So I'll mark those 2 points, and then on the waistline, I'll take my waist circumference divided by 4. You notice our waists and hip circumference are divided by 4, but the thigh is divided by 2. So we'll make our connection from the waist to the hip and from the hip to the crotch line. And that's that for this upper part for now. The next thing we're going to determine is our knee line. And from my waist to my knee, I have 24 inches. So I'll impute that on this pattern paper and rule a line there and label it the knee line. Also, we'll take the full length of this pant trouser. Now, this is not a flare palazzo that touches the floor. You are going to maintain your ankle length for this trouser, because if it is longer than your ankle, it will not look like what you're seeing on the inspo. So I'm imputing 44 as my full length on this pattern paper. Sorry, the camera is not covering the full pattern paper, but remember my knee line is 24. So I just maintained 24 on my knee line and came down to mark my 44 inches point. So after marking out that point, we have our ankle line. So the next point I'm going to mark now is the center line of our pant trouser, which is our crease line. Now, just know that we're drafting a proper pant trouser. You can use this pattern to make any other pant trouser that is not cowl, right? It is after we draft our pant block before we'll now go ahead and manipulate it into the cowl pant. So what I did here was to divide this crotch line into 2 and mark out the midpoint and impute that same half measurement on the knee line and on the ankle line, so that this center line will guide me in shaping out the length of my trouser. So after marking out the straight line, I'll measure what I have on one side of this crotch line. Remember, we divided it into 2. So on one side, I have 7 inches. I'll come to the knee line and minus 1 inch from that 7 inches. So I'm imputing 6 inches on both sides of this straight line, right? So I impute 6 inches on the left, 6 inches on the right. I'll connect from my crotch extension point down to meet the 6 inches I have on the knee line, and do the same thing on the other side from the crotch line on the hip part down to this knee line. Now I impute 6 inches here, right? On this ankle length part, I'm going to reduce it with another 1 inch and impute 5 inches on both sides of this straight line. So yours must not be 5 or 6, depends on what you have. This shaping is coming from the crotch line. So what you're removing 1 inch from to impute on these lines is the answer you have on your crotch line. So if one side of your crotch is 8, for example, it means your knee is going to have 7 and your ankle is going to have 6. There's no particular formula to this. This is how you get your straight pant trouser. We're not making a palazzo, right? We're trying to make the pants come down straight. So now we have the front part of our pants trouser. And as you know, in a pant trouser, this side that has the crotch curve is our center front. So from this center front, we're going to determine the pleats that we'll be having on our cowl pants, right? So you can decide to have 3, 4, or 5 pleats, depends on how big you want it to be. And with the inspo you're seeing on your screen, the pleats started from the center front coming towards the hip side. So I'm going to come in with 2 inches from this center front so that the pleat will start after that 2 inches. And I'll share what I have left after the 2 inches into 3 places. So and I'll label it 1, 2, 3. Now these 1, 2, 3 points are the points that will be slashing through. So now for you to know the point where 1 is going, I'll go to my crotch line and come down with 1 inch under my crotch line. I'll also mark that point 1. Then I'll go to my knee line. On the knee line exactly, I'll mark 2. Right? And that's my second point. The third point will be 7 inches upwards from the ankle line. I'll come up with 7 inches on the ankle line and mark it 3. Now this 1, 2, 3 we have on the waist, we'll connect them to meet the 1, 2, 3 that we just labeled downwards, right? This will be our slash and spread points. Remember I mentioned you can have more than 3. You can slash yours up to 3 or 4 or 5. Depends on how big or how wide you want yours to be, right? So I'm connecting from point 1 on the waist to point 1 under the crotch line, from point 2 on the waist to point 2 on the knee line, and from point 3 on the waist to point 3 just before the ankle line, right? So you can just do these connections and make sure they meet each other evenly, right? So after marking out these points, these are the points we'll be slashing through. One more thing, before I slash this pattern, there's one thing I need to do on this waistline. On the center front part of our waist, I need to come down with 1/2 inch and then slant it to meet the hip side of our waist. This helps my waistband to relax very well on the front part of our pant trouser. And we'll cut off this 0.5 that we came down with. And remember, we are adding 1.5 as our waistband. Now, before I slash and spread, at this point, if you're either adding your zipper to the center front or to the side, remember to add your zipper allowance to whichever part you're fixing your zipper, right? Before you go ahead and cut. So here's the front part of our cowl pants. I'm going to introduce a new pattern paper that we'll be using to do this slash and spread. You can also decide to just slash this one and spread it on top of your fabric direct and cut. But remember, we have not drafted the back piece. So I want to slash this on top of a new pattern paper. And it is the new pattern paper that we've slashed and spread this front on top that we will use to mark out the back piece. So before you slash it open, remember to label your patterns, either ABC or 1, 2, 3, so that you don't mix up your pattern. Then you cut it open. After cutting, we'll go ahead and arrange it on this new pattern paper. Now, this new pattern paper that I brought is not enough, so I'm going to be joining to both the sides and the length so that it will be enough for me to spread our pattern on top. So after arranging it and spreading it on top of the new pattern paper, I'm going to go ahead now and take the measurements that we'll be working with. Now on this waistline, the upper part of our trouser, right? On this waistline, I'm going to use 2.5 inches for my opening, which will serve as the pleats that we'll have on that waist, right? You can use 3, you can use 4, depends on how big you want yours to be. So on this front part, the distance I have between this 1, 2, 3, and 4th paper is 2.5 inch on the waist part. So I'm just coming down this upper part, this waistline. You can go ahead and use a paper tape or use a pin to secure it down. So after securing it down on the waist, I'll go ahead and use my marker to mark out this waistline. And after that, we'll come down to the down part. Now for this first one, this number 1 we have here, make sure it doesn't exceed 3 inches. That's the opening you have between 1 and 2 doesn't exceed 3 inches. But after that first one, you can go ahead and use 5 inches to spread the other pattern papers. Now the distance I have from my paper 1 to paper 2 on the down part is 3 inches. But the distance I have from paper 2 to paper 3 is 5 inches. From 3 to 4, another 5 inches. Then you just use your curve ruler or use your freehand to mark out this curve that we have on this edge, all the way from the first paper down to the last paper, which is the hem of our trouser. Then you go ahead and cut it out. Now, after cutting off the excess I have on the sides, this is what we have for the front piece. Now, on this waist part, I did not cut it because I want to measure out the back waist. Now, remember, on this center front part, you're going to go up with 1.5 inch for the back, because the center back is usually higher than the front, so that it will accommodate the butt. When you bend down, your butt is not exposed, right? So you go up with 1.5 and connect it with a straight ruler to meet the waistline on the sides. So this 1.5 line will serve as our back waist, and the line we have initially is our front waistline, right? I just didn't want to start drafting my back afresh. But one thing you need to note, on our fabric, we're going to be adding 1 inch on the sides for the back. Remember, back is bigger than front. And also we'll add 1.5 to the crotch extension. The crotch extension for back is longer than front. But we'll do all the difference in the back measurement on top of our fabric, because I don't have another pattern paper to start drafting the back all over, okay? So now that we're done with the front, when you pleat it on the waistline, this is what it's going to look like. But we'll be doing all the pleating and ironing on the fabric in the sewing tutorial. So here's the fabric that I want to use to make this pant trouser. It's a linen fabric. It's advisable that you use a lightweight fabric. If you don't have a linen, you can use a crepe fabric, but as long as the crepe is not too thick. You need a fabric that is lightweight so that it can drop. The cowl effect will be obvious, right? But in the process of making this pant trouser, I realized this linen I have here is not up to 3.5 yards, which means it cannot make this pants. When I placed this front pattern on top to first of all cut out the front, that's when I realized I would need up to 3.5. So I've contacted the vendor to bring extra for me. And in the part 2 of this video, you get to see how we cut on fabric and how we join all the pieces together to make this cowl pant. So thank you so much for watching to this point. And don't forget to subscribe to iFashy channel. I'll see you in the part 2 of this tutorial.